Hi there. In this video, what I want to do is I want to compare the Movavi Video Editor with the Cyberlink PowerDirector Video Editor. Now you may know that I use the Movavi Video Editor to edit all of my videos, including this video right here. Now, I absolutely love the Movavi Video Editor, and for me, it was the best choice in terms of a video editing program. But before buying the Movavi Video Editor, I looked into other video editors, and one that I definitely considered buying was the Cyberlink PowerDirector Video Editor. So I thought it'd be interesting to do a comparison between the Movavi Video Editor and the Cyberlink PowerDirector Video Editor. So I'm going to go through and compare them on a variety of different criteria, and at the end I'm going to give you a bit of a recap, a bit of a summary. Not in terms of which is best, because best is a bit subjective and depends on your particular video editing needs. Again, for me, the Movavi Video Editor was absolutely perfect, but it doesn't mean that it's the best option for every single person out there. You might find that the Cyberlink PowerDirector Video Editor is a better option for you. So let's head to the computer and take a look at the Movavi Video Editor versus the Cyberlink PowerDirector Video Editor. So before I get into the actual comparison, I just want to mention real quick that with both of these, you can download them for free and play around with them and see whether or not they're a good fit for you, instead of just relying on my opinion or somebody else's opinion. And you see here, this is Movavi, and you can download here free for Windows, or here is a Mac version. And the same thing with PowerDirector. You have the free download here for Windows, or you can click there for the Mac version. Now, with the free download, your videos will have a watermark on them. So you will need to upgrade and pay and buy one of them if you decide to continue to use them and you want to use them without the watermark. So anyway, I will put a link to both of these down in the video description so you can go ahead and download them and test them out and see, again, whether or not they work for you. So let's start by taking a look at price. So here you see the Movavi Video Editor Plus 2021 is $59.95. So what you get with that is you get, first of all, lifetime access to that version of the video editor. Generally they release a new version every year. And then you also get all the updates for that particular version. But once they come out with a new version, you won't get more updates. But generally with these sort of programs, you don't need to buy them every year unless they release some new feature that is just absolutely essential to what you do in terms of video editing. Again, I have this version here, and I expect to use it and keep it for 2 or 3 or 4 years until I buy a new version of the video editor, whether it's Movavi or some other editor. Now, in terms of PowerDirector, you see here that they have 2 options for lifetime license. One is Ultra and the other is Ultimate. And Ultra is $99.99 and Ultimate is $139.99. And again, these are going to be very similar to the Movavi lifetime license, in which you get all the updates for that particular version, but once they release a new version, you don't get additional updates. But again, you can probably use the version you have for several years until they release some essential feature that you need, and then you say, okay, I'm going to buy another license. Now, in terms of the difference between the Ultra and the Ultimate, if we scroll down here, you'll see that this gets you more tools. So you get advanced features, create masks with motion tracking, blending modes, and green screen, etc. And then it says professional format video import. I'm not really familiar with these, but if you're doing professional videos, those might make sense to you. And then down here, you see you get access to some more premium plugins, and you also get some more third-party plugins and effects. So that's the difference between the Ultra and the Ultimate. Now, coming back up here to the top, I just want to point out real quick that with PowerDirector, you also have the option to buy a subscription. And right now they have 3 different options for subscriptions: a PowerDirector 365, Director Suite 365, and PowerDirector 365 Business. And right now they have a special going on, but normally these are $69.99, $129.99, or $299.99. Or you can pay monthly, so $19.99, $29.99, or $69.99. And these do come with some nice features. If we scroll down here, for example, you get access to Shutterstock stock video clips, background music, photos and images. And as we scroll down here, you see you get a lot more checks over here than what you're seeing over here. But this is a subscription, which means that if you do not keep paying for this, you lose access to the tool. So it's not the same as a lifetime license where you buy once and, again, maybe use that particular version for 2, 3, 4 years, and it's a one-time payment. So while these might have some value, I at least personally prefer to buy a lifetime license. So in terms of pricing, I think it's pretty clear that Movavi wins this. Again, you can get access, lifetime access to this here for $59.95, whereas lifetime access to PowerDirector is either $99.99 or $139.99. Obviously, this is less than what that is there. So for price, I'm going to declare Movavi the winner. So let's talk about features. Now, this is a little hard to do because obviously I'm much more familiar with Movavi since that's the one I use to edit my videos. I played around a bit with the PowerDirector, but again, I'm just not as familiar with PowerDirector as I am with Movavi. But my sense was that PowerDirector has more features than Movavi, and that's one of the reasons why it costs more. So, I tried to look around, I played around with both tools. I tried to find like a list of features for the different tools and didn't really find anything for that. I came here to Cyberlink, to their website, and was looking through some of the features they mention here, down here. And again, I wasn't seeing big differences in features. Now, of course, features could be two things. It could be, they both have the feature, but one has more options within that feature. Or one could have a feature that the other doesn't. So, again, I was looking around, I tried Google search and there aren't a lot of comparisons between these two programs. So it was kind of hard to find information. But again, my sense was still that PowerDirector has more features. So I eventually found this blog post, which is on the Movavi website. And this is what Movavi says. They say PowerDirector's interface is more complex because of the larger range of functions and elements. So right there, to me, that is Movavi saying PowerDirector has more features. And this is, here they've got their 2021, which again is the most recent version. PowerDirector is now up to version 19. So, I can't sit here and go through every single feature and every single option within the feature. I mean, that would make this a very, very, very long video that I don't think anybody wants to sit through. But, based on this, if Movavi is saying Cyberlink PowerDirector has a larger range of functions and elements, I'm going to give the feature comparison to PowerDirector. Again, you will need to look at the programs yourself and take a look at the features. Again, you can download these for free and play around with them and make sure that they have the particular features that you want or need to edit your videos. Now let's talk about ease of use. Now, this is obviously going to be subjective, but we'll play around a little bit with both of these and see which is easier to use. So one of the things I do with my videos in terms of editing them is I need to sync up my audio and my video. So let's go ahead and see how to do this in Movavi, and then we'll take a look and see how to do it in PowerDirector. So I have this clip right here. I'm going to drag it down to the timeline. And then I just right click and you see I can detach my audio. And then from there, what I do at the beginning of my videos is I clap, as you can see right there. And I want to get to the right before my hands are going to touch. So I'm just going to back up frame by frame, right about there. And that is the audio spike. So I want to match that up. So I'm going to zoom out a bit more there and slide that over. And now that should be synced up. That looked pretty good. So that is how you do it in Movavi. Very easy to do. It took me, 20 or 30 seconds. So here I am in PowerDirector, and I was going to use the same clip, but for some reason it's not showing the waveform. I have absolutely no idea why. There's even an option within PowerDirector that says regenerate waveform for selected clip. I tried that several times and nothing. So we'll use this one instead. It doesn't really matter because the process is the same either way. So let me drag this down to the timeline. And then the first thing I want to do is detach the audio. So I'll do the right click, and there I have the option to link, unlink video and audio. So I do that, but these are still linked up here in this particular space. So let me move that back over there. So what I have to do is I have to select this audio track and then drag it down, and now I can move it separately. So, it's kind of an extra step compared to Movavi right there. Now if I come over here, oops, I have to click up here. So let me back out here to where my hands are about to touch. Go back there. So right about there. So now I need to line that up. So I'm going to move this over. And okay, so here's the problem. As you see, it's not giving me the visual that I saw in Movavi in terms of when these are lined up. So I have to keep like moving this back and forth in terms of getting it lined up. And it's, you know, as you're seeing, it's right there. So finally, okay, so I had to move it back and forth several times until I finally got that lined up. I don't know how much time that took, but the process was definitely not as easy as it was in Movavi. Now let's take a look at another example. Let's take a look at auto editing within the Movavi Video Editor, and then take a look at it within the Cyberlink Power Director. So here you see the audio editing options within Movavi. So you have this option here to synchronize the sound between two different clips. You have here an equalizer, so you can move these manually, or you can select one of these presets. So if I, you know, select on piano, it goes there, hip hop, or I'm sorry, jazz there, etc. Here you have a noise removal option for removing background noise. Audio effects, so if you want to throw in some weird or interesting audio effects, you have that option. And then beat detection, I've never really used, but it says select an audio clip to detect its audio beats and show the beat markers on the timeline. And it says you can use the beat markers to adjust the tempo of your project. So those are your options within the Movavi Video Editor for editing audio. Again, very easy to use, maybe not very sophisticated, but it's very easy to use. Now let's take a look at your auto editing options within Cyberlink Power Director. So if I come over here and do the right click, and right there it says edit audio. So first of all, I can do audio ducking. So this allows dialogue or voiceovers in a video production be heard more clearly by automatically lowering the volume of background music or other audio. So you have sensitivity, ducking level, fade out duration, fade in duration. So you have those options there. And then you can also come here and if I click on audio editor. Okay, so here you're going to see that you have a very sophisticated audio editor. So again, this gets into the fact that Cyberlink Power Director is more powerful than Movavi, but I'll admit, you know, I look at this, I don't have a clue what to do here. So it's not as easy to use. Again, there's a balance between features and ease of use. You know, again, I can play with that. I mean, just so many options here in terms of playing around with the audio within Cyberlink Power Director. But again, I'm a little overwhelmed here, but some people may need something like this. Some people, depending on the sort of editing you do, you may need a much more powerful audio editor. Again, we can just keep going through here and you see there are just a lot of options here, but it's going to mean that, you know, there's a lot more to learn in terms of what to do here. So for ease of use, again, I've been using Movavi for several months. I bought it. One of the reasons why I bought it was because it was the first timeline video editor that I ever used, and I just fell in love with how easy it is to use. I tested out Cyberlink, and one of the reasons why I didn't buy it was for me, as somebody as a beginner, as a newbie, it was just too much, and I couldn't figure out what to do and how to use it, whereas Movavi, for me, from the very beginning, I found it very easy to use. So when it comes to ease of use, I'm going to say that Movavi has the advantage over Cyberlink Power Director. So let's take a look and see what sort of download options, what sort of export options you have once your video is ready. So here in Movavi, if I click here on the export button, you see that I have these options here for video downloads, these for if I just want the audio, here if I want to save to a particular device, same thing here. And then here if I want to upload to YouTube, Google Drive, or Vimeo. And coming back here, if I click on that, I do also have some advanced options. So again, I can pick different options here, change my resolution, change the quality, change the bit rate, change the frame rate, etc. So those are my basic options for exporting videos from Movavi. Now for Cyberlink Power Director, for standard 2-dimensional videos, you have these options here. And then again, you know, within each of these, you have other options. This one I don't have access to because of the free version I'm using to test this out. Here you can do directly to Windows Media. You know, some of these I'm not familiar with, some of these formats. I use just fairly standard videos, but, you know, depending on what you need, one of these may be more or less appealing to you. This would be just for a JPEG or a PNG. and then that is for an audio file right there. And then coming over here, you have online options. So here you have YouTube, Dailymotion, Vimeo, and that is not something I'm familiar with. Here, again, you can output to specific devices. And then, if you have a three-dimensional video, you click there. Again, this video doesn't have anything three-dimensional, so we can't actually do anything here with that. So, in terms of which is better in terms of your output options, it's hard to say. I'm going to call this a tie. Depending on your particular needs, you may prefer one over the other. But I think for most cases, they can both work. There may be some edge cases where Cyberlink PowerDirector is better, and some other edge cases where some people may prefer the options in the Movavi Video Editor. But I think for the most part, both of them have your basic standard options well covered. And again, for an edge case, you may prefer one over the other, but overall, I don't see a huge difference in terms of export download options for these two video editing programs. So let's talk about customer support. Now, in my opinion, Movavi has excellent customer support, some of the best I've encountered. And so you see here, you have a couple options. One is submit a request. Another is live chat. Now, I've never used live chat, although I do like it. I think this may be a newer option because I don't remember seeing that before. With submit a request, which I have used, that obviously creates a ticket system. And what I've generally found is that, I submit a ticket, and then when I wake up in the morning, I have a response to whatever my inquiry was. And the responses are always very good, very professional. It's one of the things that I like about Movavi is I found that as a customer, they treat me very well. And even before I was a customer, when I had questions before I bought, they treated me very well. The other thing I've done with Movavi, which I found works very fast, is to message them through their Facebook page. And with that, I get a response generally within 1 to 2 hours. So, you have a few different ways of contacting them. And in my experience, again, they've always been very professional. They've responded quickly. And so I think Movavi has excellent customer support. Now, in terms of customer support for Cyberlink, for PowerDirector, I obviously have less information to go on because I'm not an active customer of theirs. That being said, a couple of years ago, I did ask them a pre-sales question, and I went back and looked, and it took them 27 hours to get back to me. Now, I think that's okay. For an online ticketing system, 27 hours in terms of wait time is not bad. Now, that is slower than the response time I've gotten from Movavi via their ticketing system. But that being said, even Movavi, if you look at their ticketing system page, it says it can take up to 3 business days for response. Again, my responses from Movavi have always been much quicker than that, but it's possible that you'll also have a longer wait time, similar to that 27-hour wait time that I had with Cyberlink. And again, with Cyberlink, the response they gave me was very good. It was very professional. It answered the question I was looking for. And so, I was happy with their customer support. Now, the one thing you see here that Cyberlink, that PowerDirector has, that Movavi doesn't, is phone support. So if I click on that, you see that here's a number you can call and business hours in which you can call. And now this is English only, and it says for callers outside Canada, USA, international calling rates will apply. And then they do also have a 2-month phone support package. If you want priority calling, you can buy this as well. Now, I hate talking on the phone, so this for me wouldn't be a good option. I prefer, as I said, either the ticketing system, or I don't know why that live chat button disappeared, but the live chat system. I'm not a phone person, but some people may prefer calling somebody and talking to them on the phone. So I think that's a good option for a lot of people, is to have this, which again, as far as I know, is not an option that you get with Movavi. So I'm going to call this a tie. Again, I've had good customer support experience with both companies. I have more experience with Movavi, but again, no complaints about customer support with Cyberlink, and they do give you an option that, at least for some people, they may really like, which is phone support. So that's my comparison between the Movavi Video Editor and the Cyberlink PowerDirector Video Editor. Now, in terms of which is better, or at least which is better for you. First of all, if you want an entry-level video editor, one that's affordable, one that has a nice range of features, and also has great customer support, then I can absolutely recommend the Movavi Video Editor. That being said, the Movavi Video Editor isn't for everyone. As I said, it's a beginning level and entry-level video editor. If you need to do more sophisticated video editing, if you need more features, more options, and if you're willing to pay a little bit more and put in the time to learn how to use it, then I would definitely take a look at the Cyberlink Power Director Video Editor. And remember, you can download either one of these for free, either for Windows or for Mac, and play around with them and see which one is a better fit for you. And again, there will be a link in the video description for both Movavi and for the Cyberlink Power Director. Now before I go, just a quick reminder, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That way I know that I'm creating content that is of value to you, and also make sure that YouTube shows this video to more people. So that's it. Hope to see you next time, and I hope you have a great day.